After a cold start to 2026, Joey Logano comes back in dominating fashion, dominating North Wilkesboro Speedway and the whole entire field with only 6 cars left on the lead lap. We're going to break it down all right now here on Gases on the Right podcast. And we are back. I want to say thank you to our premier partners in the Daily Downforce, the place to get all of your daily NASCAR news and information, as well as Sundial Plumbing, the place for all your Metro Atlanta plumbing needs. Gentlemen, we're back from North Wilkesboro, back from a 750 horsepower package on a quarter mile, and back from what I would say is a old school NASCAR ass whooping.
Yep, it was like it was 1996 at North Wilkesboro.
Exactly like that.
Or we'll just have to take Daniel Harper's word for it because he was the only one alive.
Yeah. I don't remember it all. I don't remember it at all, though, so who knows. But it really did feel like it was an old school NASCAR race. It had that, just hardly anybody left on the lead lap. I know, that was not all Joe Logano was doing. Alex Bowman trying to clear himself in the top lane and did a lot of that damage himself. But it just had that old school, just elbows up and dig in type feel. It was really good to see North Wilkesboro back. I know it's been about the All-Star race the last 2 years, or last couple of years actually. But for actually have a points race,
it definitely made it better having 36 cars on the racetrack.
Yeah,
yes.
The I never watched the North Wilkesboro race back when, but I went back and watched highlights this week of old races there, and I like the track. I really do. It's multi-groove racetrack and a short track, which we don't really see much of on the short tracks we go to. It seems like everybody's in one line and can't really pass. Well, you had multiple. You had SVG and Carson Hocevar almost knocking off the pit wall every lap, and you had cars up high. You had cars in the middle. It was fun to watch.
Yeah, definitely a fun race to watch for sure. A lot of you got to see some comers and goers at the beginning of the race with obviously the rain canceling out qualifying, setting the metric of the field. So you got to see what everybody had and what everybody didn't have. And from there, man, I mean, it was just once everybody got settled in, that was it. I mean, you're talking how many laps did Joey lead?
323, I believe. I think he set a career high for himself, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely insane out of 450 laps. So,
yeah,
just put on a clinic once he got out front, and I mean, that was the end of that. 6 cars on the lead lap, only 4 cars were 1 lap down. Everybody else was 2 or more laps down after that. So, quite a race to the finish right there.
How about SVG? I'm thinking, I know, if I didn't know no better, I would thought we were at Sonoma instead of North Wilkesboro.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely great day. Started up front and just stayed there all day too. Racing for the stage win in stage 1, and then being able to be one of the guys that did not go down the lap, finishing top 5 to finish the race, really set himself up well. We were very worried about him, leaving all the road courses for the year with him being towards the bubble. So for him to come out and perform like that, pick up a 47-point day, I mean, and I started 8th, finished 5th. You can't ask for much more than that. I mean, that's definitely improvement year over year, just as a driver on an oval.
I kind of heard a stat this afternoon on NASCAR radio as I was coming home from work. The 3 tracks where he started in the top 10 due to like rain. It was Nashville, Charlotte, and last night at North Wilkesboro. And it's probably his 3 best finishes on an oval all year. This stat right here, it says he ran 442 laps in the top 10. His previous best was 328 at Charlotte earlier this year. So if that team could find out a way to give him a car that could qualify in the top 10 every week, watch out. Because he proves if he gets in the top 10, he could keep it there.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, he's shown that he's got the capability. But it's a lot of, like you said, he runs. It's almost like he runs where he qualifies or where he starts, is just
Mhm.
where he stays. I don't know if it's maybe an issue with passing, just not being as aggressive as he may need to be. But we are starting to see some of that aggression now come out on ovals. I think he's proven to himself that he can run ovals now. So now it's proving. Now he's letting them know, hey, I do deserve to be here and be a part of this.
Yeah, I was really hoping he would pull out that stage win, but Ty Gibbs squeaked him out right at the start finish line there, and I just thought it'd be pretty cool to say, hey, shame SVG, not winning it on like Sonoma or Watkins Glen, but he just won a stage at freaking North Wilkesboro. Like, who would have thought? But
Yeah,
in the end,
a willing oval for sure. And just one thought on that. I mean, you give him one more year on an oval, and he could probably pull out the stage win there, running Gibbs high, get Gibbs out of the
yeah,
groove, run him high, and take it away because third place was not getting to him. But
no,
that all comes with due time of learning oval style driving and everything of that nature. It'll come in due time, but still just very impressive and something to definitely watch for, especially as we go through after Indy this week, a roll of 3 short tracks in a row.
Mm-hmm. It just like watching him race and just knowing how off Trackhouse is right now. It really we said it a couple of times. Just like imagine him in like a Gibbs or a Hendrick car.
yeah,
I think he'd have an
Because
oval
if
win by now.
he's outperforming his first so much, like this much driver at Trackhouse, but SVG has been like it's him. I mean, ovals, road courses, everywhere. It's him. Right? Better equipment and or if Trackhouse just got it together, he'd be dangerous for sure.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. But speaking of Hendrick, though, normally we do see them performing at that high level. This is the first time in team history as a 4-car team that all 4 cars were 2 or more laps down at the finish of the race. I mean, granted, that's a product of the race itself, but still, that is a crazy stat considering the time frame that team's been around for.
yeah, especially when you look at their running positions. Like William Byron finished 12th, Larson 15th, and Chase 17th. When I saw that stat this morning, I was thinking, man, I must not have really realized the Hendrick car center so deep in the field. Then I went and looked at the stat. I thought, well, look, Byron finished 12th. It's a product of that race yesterday. Most of them got, stuck.
And that's what really none of them were ever in a position to be the lucky dog is the problem.
Yeah.
So they were continuously just a lap down, and then ended up getting lapped by Logano in the final stage when he was hauling the mail.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know Chase got caught up in that first pit cycle with Bowman coming across the nose of Tyler Reddick trying to come to pit road and ultimately ruining Reddick's day too, ending him with a 30th place finish 5 laps down. Really kind of set the cycle for that as a team off the rip with the 48 kind of ruining the 9 cars day there too.
Yeah, I bet the team meeting today at Team Hendrick was kind of awkward, that, hey, you trapped a couple of your teammates a lap down because of your spin there. Thanks a lot, teammate.
Yeah.
And I believe it was just like a late call to pit road by them is what caused it.
Yeah, I went back and watched the in-car today, and you can hear the spotter out there on the back stretch before they come, like, hey, we're pitting this lap. And, Alex stays high, and they're coming towards pit road. The spotter says, hey, Alex, remember, we're pitting this time. He just kind of clears himself. And
He's like, oh, yep.
yeah, like, oh, yeah, I forgot. Just kind of clears himself, and Reddick just happened to be there.
Yeah, which I mean, you got to put a little bit on that on the spotter too, because if he's calling him to pit road right there, he should let him know if there's anything around him on the track as well.
Yeah. That was my thing. I mean, he says, "Hey, Alex, remember we're pitting," and it's no Alex kind of starts to go down, like, "Hey, you're not clear," or "Hey, 45 down low." It's just that's it, really. Like, okay. So, I guess it could be 50% driver, 50% spotter. Yeah, I don't know. Alex forgetting like, I can imagine it'd be pretty easy to forget that you're in the heat of a battle of a race and got a million things going on, and probably easy to forget. Hey, they said pit this time, and but the spotter should have gave him a little bit more heads up or cleared him down or say, hey, we're going one more lap.
Yeah. Yeah, some type of communication needed to be had there for sure. Where you were, what you were doing, and how you were going to do it. But that also created an upset in the in-season challenge with the underdog Todd Gilliland upsetting Chase Elliott. Then with Gilliland finishing 8th versus Elliott 17th, sending Todd Gilliland to the championship round at Indy up against Ryan Blaney, who defeated Christopher Bell with an 11th place versus a 19th place. So our in-season challenge is coming to an end at Indianapolis with Blaney versus Gilliland.
Who would have thought it would be a Ford off? I'd have thought it would have been a Toyota off.
Yeah, yeah. A few weeks ago, I think we talked about it earlier a couple weeks ago that we really didn't think would have that Cinderella this year. That most of the drivers were your big name drivers, and who would have thought that Todd Gilliland goes out there and beats Chase Elliott on a short track, and the glass slipper fits one more week.
Yeah. P25 versus P3.
Yeah.
So quite an upset currently so far, but it's gonna be really fun to see what happens there as we go into Indianapolis this week.
Um, what do y'all think about NASCAR saying, or I guess NASCAR hasn't officially said it yet? The Athletic, Jordan Blanc and the Athletic announced this weekend that NASCAR is expected to double how much practice time Cup Series team get most weeks. Here it's going to be doubled from 25 to 50. Multiple sources within race teams told the Athletic. So, me personally, I think the more practice, the better, because I know some teams and drivers have kind of said on X after this came out that they really didn't want it. Who are these teams that wanted it? And me as a race fan, I would just think that the more practice, the better. The better chance you got to get your car right. Because there's some weeks where you don't even practice, so you're sitting the track the first time you qualify, or if it gets rained out, the first you take the green flag, and I would think that you'd want the most time on track to get your car right before you took the green flag. But that's just me.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, I've
Go ahead,
seen
Danny.
both sides just because, a lot of people have said the adjustments that you're allowed to make, you'd need more than an hour of practice to make them when you go out there. Like, you can't do anything substantial enough to need that much more time with the current rule book for the next gen car. But at the same time, you got guys like Connor Zilic, Corey Heim, Austin Hill that are seeing these racetracks for the first time in the next gen car and need those reps.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely need
And
more time in the
you know
car.
they've also said the more they practice, the closer the cars are going to get. And then guess what gets harder when all the cars are running closer together?
Passing.
Yeah, passing.
But as a race fan and not someone who has to drive the cars or make the changes, I watch practice and qualifying every week, so I don't mind it.
Yeah, it's kind of like I agree. I just gives me more stuff to watch, and if it's a little bit more time to watch, NASCAR on Saturday, I'm all for that.
Yeah, a little bit more cars on track, a little bit more racing, a little bit more conversation, and more insight. There's nothing bad about any of that.
I have another little thing here. Another little question. I know we've talked about Prime, we've talked about Fox. Now that we get near the end of TNT's coverage, what's y'all's rating, I guess, of TNT? What do y'all think about them?
Man, the fact that when they're on True TV, there's no side by side commercials. It's just full screen commercials. Almost makes me put them below Fox.
Yeah. If there's been a time where they've done split screen, I guess I've missed that. I have not seen them.
I think they were split screen this week on TNT.
I know a few of the.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess I just missed it, but I know a few times this week. Yeah, last night there was full screen commercials, but I just, I know Fox, and Prime also promised, hey, we're gonna go, side by side every race, and I guess maybe if True TV can't do that, it is what it is, but. I don't know. I like the booth on TNT. It's the same one we get on Prime, but that's really about it. Like I've been really trying to get into Marty Smith. I like Marty Smith and his college football, and the post race show. I just post race pre race. I just trying my best to get into that. I don't know. Just don't really have that same Prime feel. Fox really doesn't have one, so I can't really compare that. But to me, the product's a little bit better than Fox, but big gap away from Prime.
Mm-hmm.
I just
a
feel
little
like
bit.
Prime has put themselves so far out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're so at the top of everyone's list that anything we watch that's not Prime, we're still slightly disappointed no matter how well they do.
Yeah, I did see an article last week. I didn't mention it last week, but Adam Stern, the Business Journal, had an article out last week that Prime would like more races either next year, but they are can't because the media rights deal is locked in for the next is it 6 years left or 7?
It's 5 years left now.
5 years now, and so Jeff Bezos could and Prime could buy them out. I'm pretty sure they got plenty of money there, but I wouldn't be surprised now when we go 5 years from now if Prime doesn't buy up a bigger chunk instead of just 5 races. Does it go to 10? Does it go to 12? So, which I will not be mad about.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would at that rate. So I would love to see Prime pick up some more races and take on a little bit more. As like we said, they've really put themselves leaps and bounds above. So, but TNT, kind of, I would say a sophomore slump for sure this year out of them.
Yeah.
But that's the cost of doing business too. I think.
Yeah.
I got a feeling they may have bit off a little bit more than they could chew last year on the with what they were paying out and everything. So they really they paid for it this year in return.
Yeah.
So
I can see that.
Well, moving from broadcasting to wheeling the car. So Austin Hill, number 33 for RCR, he currently has the worst average finish in the series over the last 6 races. Do we think that he is the best plan for that 33 car moving forward?
No.
No.
All right. So who are we looking at then?
You want to go first, Emily, or me go first on this one?
You can go ahead and go first.
All right. It's done deal now. And he's already signed a contract somewhere else. But I really, really think I know there was some sponsorship stuff there. They say he might be too young for some of the some sponsors they have. But I'll try my best to keep Jesse Love in the building. I think between the two of them, Jesse Love is the best driver. He's got a championship, and consistently week to week, Jesse Love's the better driver in the O'Reilly series for RCR. And I think it's just, in my opinion, a mistake by Richard by letting him get out of house. I would have put him. I would have made some kind of contract or some kind of deal with Zone and the bourbon sponsor. I can't remember
Rebel.
yeah, to get him in that car, because in my opinion, yeah, I know he'd probably struggled the first year or two because it's a big jump from Saturdays to Sunday, especially with how the car drives. But in the long term, I think you have better results out of Jesse Love than you would Austin Hill.
And
I'm
I might
so
be
glad you
wrong, but I'm
said
pretty
that.
sure wasn't Jesse Love didn't he announce a lot of races in the 33 this year? And I feel like we saw him at the beginning of the year. But I mean, with everything that unfolded, he hasn't been in a car since then. And I'm fairly certain he had more races scheduled in the Cup car.
I don't know
Hang
how
on, I'll
many
look that
more
up.
races that he had, but I'm glad that you brought that up because that is exactly what I was going to say. RCR typically, when they bring a new driver in, like in this sense, they're pulling somebody from what's now O'Reilly's. And I was really hoping that they would pull Jesse Love because I think he's the better pick between him and Austin Hill. So I'm sad to see that Jesse, is leaving RCR and is going somewhere else. I would have loved to see him in an RCR Cup car.
Yeah. Well, I
Now,
mean, where he's going, they're not running much better.
Can I throw a wrench in this
Yeah.
for you?
now, well,
Go ahead.
let me finish one thing. I didn't think much past that, so I don't have someone now that I'm like, yes.
I
We
mean, I
have
think if
Bowman,
it's not
who
Austin
may
Hill, all
leave
signs are
Hendrick. I don't know.
really pointing to Gragson going.
With the
And
Bass
not in
Pro
love.
partnership
Yes, and that was a big thing. I have heard that is like with him also having a Bass Pro, it would kind of be like a match made in heaven. But the reason I don't necessarily think Gregson is because they do still have Zone and Rebel. And if the whole reason why they couldn't pull Jesse up was because of that, that means that
Well,
those sponsors are bought in for next year too.
not necessarily. I think they were just Jesse over Austin because they're a liquor and nicotine, and Jesse Love looks like a 10-year-old, and Austin
No,
Hill looks like a grown man.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that with Gregson's Bass Pro thing, is
Well,
where would
that's
that leave
really
Rebel
what the
and
sponsors
Zone
are.
in there?
And I mean, honestly, Noah Gragson is the poster child for a nicotine and a liquor sponsor.
Yeah.
Yeah, but if Bass Pro followed him, where would that leave Zone and Rebel? That's the one thing that I'm not
I mean,
sure
several
if
cars have multiple primary sponsors.
that
Really,
is
no one has
true.
one all year.
Unless you're Kyle Larson.
Yeah. Well, that's because sponsors are still scared of him. There's not enough time removed.
What's your wrench, Alan? I'm very curious.
What about Josh Berry?
Be mad.
Yeah.
Chevy ties through Dell Jr., ties with Bass Pro through Juniors Motorsports. So, I mean, came up in a Chevy, ended up going to Ford with Stuart Haas, and then lost his ride at Wood Brothers after 2 years?
Mm-hmm.
So, I could see him being a potential, that could be a landing spot for him.
Now, what I will say, and I've noticed this more with RCR, was I think they also were very big on all of the personalities of their drivers, which they only have 2 right now, but meshing really well. And like Bush and Dylan meshed very well. You have Hill and Love who mesh very well within O'Reilly. Would Barry be able to kind of fit in if he
Yeah,
were to go there?
because he's an old school grassroots short track racer, and that describes Richard Childress. I think
Yeah.
he'd be a great fit in that organization, actually.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that on that one. I mean, just think about it. RC was racing at Stafford this past weekend
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Cletus.
with Cletus.
To answer Daniel's question, Jesse Love was originally slated to run this weekend in the 33 at the Brickyard, Iowa, and Talladega. So that's
I mean,
just,
I wonder if they'd run the 31
I don't
for
know.
him.
I'm betting with him leaving RCR this year,
Probably not.
I doubt that they'll let him run it.
Yeah. So that was he had 3 left. He had this weekend, Iowa, and fall Talladega.
Well, oh, yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So I got some silly seasons left to get figured out.
So I want to ask about silly season because we talked about this heavily at the beginning of the season. We've kind of talked about it throughout. Do y'all think Bowman will actually stay at Hendrick?
And I think he's leaning towards retiring. There's a quote a couple weeks ago. He did an interview, and I saw the break card video about it, where he said that he's hoping to have something announced here soon, but he said that he's grateful at the time in his career now that he doesn't have to do this for the rest of his life, and that he can just get out and do something else if he wanted to. So, read between the lines there, the kind of hinting that he's maybe going to, medically retire because all the injuries he had. I don't know. I, I just, to me, I was kind of on the freight train all year, even before the season, that he wasn't coming back this year, and I'm kind of sticking to that idea that he won't be back, but I could be terribly wrong.
That's interesting, but that would make sense. I mean, you're talking broken back. You're talking obviously with the vertigo issues and everything this year.
And concussions.
Yeah,
It would make sense for him to want to medically retire.
yeah.
This is his full quote here. It says, "I don't feel like I'm racing for my job or anything like that by any means. Really just kind of week to week, focus on trying to get pointing back in the right direction. Uh, uh, well, I lost where I was. Really hadn't thought about it. It was the first thing, I'm thankful I'm at a point in my career now where I don't have to do this forever. If I want to get out and do something else, I can. But we'll see where things progress, and hopefully to have something to announce sooner than later."
Wow.
Yeah, that's pretty open ended.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was
Quite.
back at Chicagolands when he. Uh, so
Oh, another guy that pretty much said he's looking for a job this week. When Gregson was hosting the Dale Jr. Download with Briscoe, he said the reason he didn't punch Kevin Magnuson is because he's looking for a job and he's trying to look good. So there's going to be somebody new in the 4 next year,
yeah,
which I presume is probably going to be Josh Berry.
I could see that. Let's go back to old stomping grounds there. But I just Barry though. I don't know if I would. Is the 4 any better than the 21 at this point? I don't know if I would. I don't know. To
The
me,
4 is not, but the 38 and the 34 are.
Yeah. I don't know. I could say also go kind of do what John Hunter Nemechek did. I know Josh Berry's a lot older. He's a little older in age. He got a late start in this. I'm pretty sure he'd have a ride at Junior Motorsports if he wanted to go that route, and maybe take a year in O'Reilly's, kind of win some more races, and take a shot next year and see what's out there next year. But I don't know.
Yeah,
I
just
guess it'd be
take
hard.
kind of a reset.
Yeah, kind of like John Hunter Nemechek did when he went back to trucks and they competed for that championship, and then came back and got the job at Legacy.
Yeah.
So that could be an option, but it'd be if they offered him the 4, it'd probably be pretty hard to turn down a cut ride for the O'Reilly's ride.
Right.
Unless it's a more predominant O'Reilly ride, like if Joe Gibbs is like, "Hey, come drive my O'Reilly's car all next year,"
Yeah.
and he knows he's going to go win some races in a Gibbs car and build his stock back up. It's kind of one of those things. Are you gonna do like Corey LaJoy had the mindset? It only matters to race on Sunday, and his stock just kept going down and down and down and down and down and down and down, driving for these go or go home teams.
Yeah.
Now he's having to rebuild his brand in the truck series.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a minute before a cup team looks at him again,
Funny that you say that. Funny that you mentioned that. So this week, or last week now, there was talk that if Ram does go cup racing in 2027, that they don't want Ty Dillon, and that they would. This is all speculation. This was I forget now who said this. Might heard it on DBC. I'm not sure. That Ram's choice would be Corey LaJoy.
I stand corrected.
Ram doesn't
funny
want.
that you say that.
Hang on, I'm looking that up now. See if I can find that article and find out who it was. Corey LaJoy. Just go to X. But yeah, I could, because they know it's going to be probably a learning curve for a year or two, anyways, with the new manufacturer. So could it be like a fire thing for Corey LaJoy? As soon as they get good again, it's for build it up. See, Corey, we don't need you anymore.
Right. I mean, that could be the case, but they've got to see him in with him doing a couple one-offs with Ram. They may
Corey
just like him
LaJoy.
and what he brings to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done all right.
He's had a bad couple of weeks the past few weeks. I've been keeping up with him. But just like things that are like out of his control have been happening. But when they happen to him, he's in the top 10 every time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's helped, that program which I mean, the whole organization you can see has gotten a lot better since the start of the year. Ryan Newman straight up did not have a good time this week in the Ram truck, but But other than that, but that's just their all-star truck or whatever. So I think it'll be it won't be too long before you see a Ram truck in victory lane. I don't think, anyways. But yeah. But like you said, when they move to Cup, they're going to have the exact same learning curve, but they'll be a premier sponsor, and they'll get all the manufacturing help to where they're getting absolutely none right now. I've
Yeah.
also seen, I know Keselowski came out and said that, that they're contracted with Ford, but I've still been seeing a lot of articles saying that Ram and RFK are still pretty in talks.
Solid.
Hmm. Yeah, so Brad K may have just been shutting that down for legal reasons.
hmm But I mean, it's not like if Ram wanted them bad enough, they could probably buy out that contract.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, coming in fresh and everything. That is a possibility. But talking about legals fees, we got any NASCAR updates?
Yeah, I saw this week that Judge Rodriguez has officially set the trial date for February the 1st of 2027, and the trial will officially go 9 days. So, you get NASCAR Thunder there. That's into January, 1st of February. Then boom, in the NASCAR it goes 9 days, and so it's just going. Then soon after that, you'll get the Daytona duels. So it's just going to be a busy time for NASCAR there. The middle to end of January, all the way into early February. So we'll. It's going to be interesting because JGR is not going to back down. Jeff Dickerson, Chris Gapehart's not going to back down. I expect those 9 days to get very heated, very testy, and which would be exciting for me. I'll be all tuned in. But because both sides think that they are right, the other one's doing them wrong, and it's going to be fun to watch. Kind of make sure to get my popcorn ready on February 1st.
And then they have to go see each other on track right after
Yeah,
whatever decision's made. Like, they
yeah.
don't even get a cool down period.
No, that's I guess the good thing for Hamlin and them. They kind of kind of settled things about a month before the season. Well, February 9th, February 1st, about February 10th, and the duels would be right around there sometime. So, yeah, see y'all in Daytona.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it'd be pretty interesting.
Gotta love it. Well, are we ready to look at some point standings?
Oh, let's do
Let's
it.
do it.
Yep.
All right. First in points is Denny Hamlin, followed by Reddick, Blaney, Ty Gibbs, Elliott, Larson, Hosevar, Briscoe, Busher, and Bell, rounding out the top 10, followed by Suarez, Byron, Wallace, SVG, Logano, and Cindric. Eric Jones is now officially under the cut line. Well, not officially, but he is now after last week.
Which is
And
crazy because I
then
didn't really see Cindric having that much better of a day than Eric Jones. And for him to lose that many points.
Yeah, Eric Jones. I didn't think Eric Jones would fall out, really. I figured he was going to be kind of. I know we were talking about it last week. It's kind of, we thought he might be a not guaranteed lock, but one you could bet on to be a lock for the. Yeah.
Right.
We
And he
also have
just.
3 drivers who have clinched their playoff spots. I know that we've already talked about Hamlin and Reddick, but they are now joined by Blaney. So we have 3 drivers officially in the playoffs. Or chase offs.
I would honestly say everybody above probably Bubba Wallace is safe.
Probably.
And I think he's probably safe too.
Yeah, as long as they don't go and crap the bed these couple weeks. Which the good thing is you don't have any type of like crazy wild card until Daytona, really.
Mhm.
So as long as you can have a good consistent day, you're going to be all right.
Yeah, which I mean, he's the defending winner of the race we're going to, so there's a good chance he'll be up front again, especially with the speed that all the Toyotas have right now. There's a good chance to be up front again this week and win the race again. And pretty much, obviously, winning a race puts you in a pretty good spot because Joey Logano was out, and now he's really far in.
49 into the good.
Yeah, it's my looking at Brad, down here in 19th and 58 points now. He was 51 coming in, but just because Logano winning a couple stages, or winning the stage, winning the race, and SVG getting stage points all day, and a couple other people having good days in front of him, he still lost points. He went from 51 to 58, so even the 7th place finish. So I was thinking, well, we finished 7th. We're gaining good points day. Look at the points. Okay, we lose 8 points. Oh, 7 points.
Well, I mean, if you consider he was relative to Eric Jones, 58 points out on him, and now he's only 25 behind him.
Yeah.
So technically, he gained a lot. Just not the Austin Cindric, who's now on the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you got to be glass half full, Daniel.
Yeah. Glass half full. Just. I guess.
I tell you who that points penalty from earlier in the year is hurting right now. Our boy Ryan Preece.
Oh yeah. This 25 points would be crucial right now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they would put him as the bubble guy just barely out. So he would be out by 23 points.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 23 is a lot better than 48.
Yeah. That's one decent race versus 2 decent races.
Yeah, or you could go out and do a Logano and just wax the field, which I mean, it's hard to see any of these guys on the bubble, right? Well, we said that last week. We did say that last week with everyone except for Logano. But
he was our one if. And
yeah,
it's a good thing we left that as an if, or we'd be recanting a lot right now.
Yeah, we'd look real stupid a week later.
Yeah. I think I've said it a few times. I could see Logano getting caught and going to doing what he did last night, but I could see it. But did I think it was going to happen? Not really. Just looking at the way they performed all year. But he's just he's a three-time champion for a reason. He's always a threat.
That he is.
Until he's not.
Well, are y'all ready to move into our picks?
Let's do it.
I am.
I bet, buddy. You've been on a little bit of a skid.
A little.
Well, Daniel, with you winning this past week with your pick of Ryan Preece, who do you want to take for Indianapolis?
I'm going to take the hometown boy, Chase Briscoe.
Good pick. Well, Emily, you came up just short. If you'd have switched your last 2-week calls, you'd have won both races.
I know, but I still did good.
But you still did good.
The universe has rewarded me. So, in exchange, I let her go ahead and pick for me this week. And the universe picked Suarez.
Daniel Suarez for Indianapolis. Well, I'm going to take our guy that we just talked about falling outside of the chase. and Eric Jones.
Hmm.
I think you were the first one out of all of us to pick him this season.
I'm actually the last one.
Yeah, I picked him
Oh, that's
earlier
the
this
order you
year.
picked him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I haven't even noticed that.
I
Well, I
picked him a
don't
few
think he's
weeks
one for
ago.
everybody.
No.
That may be why. I did not. So we picked
I
him.
picked him at Daytona.
I picked him at let's go over here. It's a few weeks ago, maybe Michigan.
What did I
You picked him at Pocono, and Emily picked
Oh,
him at Sonoma.
pick? That was the universe, I think.
That
Yeah,
was
the
universe.
universe was screwing you over that week.
Pocono. Let's see what he did to me. Pocono.
Sixth place.
He got me sixth place, so not that bad. I think I finished second with him that week to Emily. So, but anyway, I guess it's my time. And with that clock sound, I'm going with Torrey Heim because it's going to be Heim time Sunday in Indianapolis.
Corey Hine.
Does this mean that we gave him permission because Corey Haim is not a full-time driver? Does that mean that if he goes out and wins this race, we'll be like, nah, actually, we revoke that?
Yeah, we
We'll
don't
change that
reward any
word.
points.
Yeah, I figured that something like that would happen.
We will pay you your dues. We will pay you your dues.
Yeah.
So
Can't
well,
be. Go ahead, Thomas.
oh no, you're good. Go ahead.
So it can't be worse than my last week. I'm thinking my pick Ross Chastain last night, and he was a lap down on lap one because he had to serve a penalty because failing post qualifying inspection or pre qualifying inspection 3 times. So he had to drop to the end, then do a pass through penalty under green. So I was beat even before the green flag. So that's
Yeah,
how my weekend went. So
well,
prime time can't be any worse than that.
hopefully recovery comes this week.
Hopefully.
As we head to Indianapolis for the Brickyard 400. Anybody got any final thoughts before we sign off for this week?
I do not. I'm good.
Daniel, you want to hit him with those social plugs?
Yeah, be sure to check us out on the Daily Downforce and our social media on TikTok, Instagram, X, and Facebook. And make sure to check us out on all major podcast platforms and to share it with a friend.
Without further ado, we will talk to you all post Indianapolis.